Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name is Anthony and today I'll be taking us through a quick high-level overview of the Sendible platform. I'll be taking us through each of these tabs and kind of giving us a quick overview of the functionality within each of them. But before we begin, really the first place we should start is going to be the Profile tab here on the end. So this is a place where regardless of how you onboard, you'll eventually need to come here and actually connect your social media platforms in order to start using Sendible fully. Connecting your platforms, or your profiles rather, is as straightforward as simply clicking Add and then selecting the profile type you'd like to connect to. You will need to be an admin to connect, and that does apply to all of the profile types regardless of the social media channel. Once you've connected your social media platforms, the next thing generally you want to do is start scheduling content and keeping an eye on what's going on out there. That generally will happen under the Publish tab. So the first place you're taken under the Publish tab is a calendar where you really have four views. The one that I'm clicked into right now is the Sent view, and what this is displaying is all of the messages so far that I've sent this month. As I scroll down, you'll see today is the 22nd of August, so we have a bunch of activity that's happened before in this month, but nothing really scheduled after. If I want to look at stuff that I have upcoming, scheduled in the future, I can click into the Scheduled tab. Here I'll see any approved posts that I might have missed, and we'll see any content that we have upcoming for the future. We do also offer some queues. So, for example, if you have a preset schedule using one of our queues and you have content in there, you can select just into that queue and keep an eye on the content there as well. If you're scheduling content across multiple users or multiple businesses, we do also offer an Overview tab. This will allow you to view the upcoming content across multiple users within the platform. To distinguish users, you can also or always view the initials here in the corner. So for example, right now I'm clicked into my master admin user, which is signified by the MA. There's also a lot of activity from the Seattle user, which is signified there by that S. To schedule content from anywhere in the platform, you will have the ability to click this Compose feature. And the profiles that you'll have available to you on the Compose box will depend completely on which calendar that you're clicked into. So if you're an agency or if you're a business that maybe is managing multiple locations or a large number of profiles, a master admin view that looks something like this may be advantageous, where you have all of your Facebook pages and then potentially all of your Instagram and LinkedIn's all in one view. But you can, of course, separate this out by location or by specific business, kind of like I've done under the Seattle user, where I just have the profiles specific to Seattle here. When I'm ready to compose and I'm on the proper calendar, what I want to do is, of course, select the profiles. So for this case scenario, I'm going to select Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. In this pretend post, what I want to do is I'm actually going to share a new logo that we've come up with. So I'll come into my hard drive and grab the logo. Quickly, I'll go over that there were a few other options I had there. I did grab something right from my hard drive, but I could, of course, have looked over the web. So I could have gone to, for example, sendible.com and pulled one of the images off of there. I could have uploaded one of the images I've used previously, connected to a cloud storage device like Dropbox or Google. If we're using Canva, I could also have connected there. Or I could have searched Giphy, Pexels, or Flickr, and of course YouTube to pull in this content. So we do have a variety of ways that you can pull that content into the platform. Once you have the content in there, though, the next thing you'll want to do is start composing something. So you'll see because I've selected multiple platforms here, I do have the option to actually compose messages for each platform specifically. But the first place we're going to be taken is this original area, where I can compose one message that'll be composed across all the platforms by default. So I'm going to say something like check out our new logo, and then maybe I'll want to edit this depending on the platform. So on Facebook, I actually think it looks pretty good, but maybe I want to add some hashtags. So I can, of course, type my hashtags in here. Or if you've planned ahead, you can also go into your content library and pull on a template that maybe has your company hashtags preloaded. Same idea on Instagram. Maybe for this case scenario, though, I actually want to post it on Instagram as a story. So all it's saying here is that on Instagram, with stories, there's no captions, so it's giving me a warning that you want to delete that. And then it's also asking me to actually edit this image. So we can go ahead and do that, no problem, and just crop it down to make sure that it's the right size for the story, so it doesn't look kind of funny. And then last but not least, same idea on Instagram. It's just saying, hey, it's going to look bad. We recommend posting it in landscape view, so that's not a problem. I can go ahead and crop this down and post that in landscape view. Now before sending this, I can of course go through and preview it so I can see how it would look on each of the different channels. From here, if I feel this is ready to go, I can send it now. I can schedule it for sometime in the future. So for example, I'll schedule this for Friday. And we do also offer optimal times. So based on your activity, we can also suggest times for you to post in the future. And we can also add this to a pre-scheduled queue. So if you wanted to set up a schedule ahead of time, for example, if you wanted to post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m., you could add this to a specific queue that already had that schedule pre-built in, and this would go into the next available time slot. Regardless of how you have this scheduled, once you have a time selected, we can either add it directly to your calendar, or depending on your permission level, we will give you the ability to send this to another user for approval. You can also add a note to the approval message here, and what that will do is send that user an email notification, and they'll have the ability to engage with that conversation from within the app. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule this message here real quick, and then just to show you what would have happened if I was engaging with an approval, again, I would have received an email notification, but from the task section, I can also engage with conversations and approve or reject these posts right from here. So we've posted a photo here. I'm sure some people watching this video right now are pulling their hair out saying, okay, I get photos, but what about videos? Do you support TikTok? Do you support Reels? All of that fun stuff, shorts? The answer to all of that is yes. So quickly here, what I'll show you is how we can play around with videos. So I actually had one of my team members upload a video to my content library. So again, just a quick example of these content libraries. This video was uploaded by a team member, making it nice and easy for me to add it here. And then same idea as the photo, I can create content, generic content here, that I can then go customize for each channel. And while I'm customizing it, I can also select the reel. So I can make this like Facebook content, Instagram content, and I can post it as a story or a reel to Instagram. And then, of course, TikTok content. So we can customize that for each channel. And then just like I showed you, we can schedule it out for the future, send it for an approval, or schedule this message. So now we have the content that's been scheduled. It's already out there. People are engaging with it. Next thing you want to do is kind of keep on top of that activity, and believe it or not, that'll happen here under the Activity tab. So the first place you're taken to on the Activity tab is the Priority Inbox. You can kind of think of this as more of like an alert center or a notification center. It'll pull in the most important or the highest priority messages and comments and tags that you should be paying attention to. Additionally, we have our social feeds. This is more of a chronological view. In both case scenarios, you are able to engage with the content here. So this one was a post. I'm able to reply to it. There's a message going on. I can reply back. Same idea on the social feeds. This is a RSS feed blog that I posted earlier. If I wanted to add a comment, I could add a comment right here. And depending on the channel, for example, on Facebook, we do also support messages, as well as on Twitter. We also support messages. In addition to monitoring the engagement that's happening on your specific posts, we do give you the ability to monitor Twitter for specific keywords, usernames, or hashtags. So this is a fairly simple one that I have set up. I have a keyword group for Ricky Fowler, just the keyword term Ricky Fowler. And now anytime that keyword is mentioned on Twitter, I am receiving notifications and I can engage with those right from here. I can retweet them. I can also respond and engage with the whole Twitter suite there. Moving on to the content section. If your team is using blogs or RSS feeds, we do have a few different ways that you can actually share that content. Regardless, you'll need to connect the blog first and foremost, which will happen under the content RSS feed section. Once that RSS feed is connected, you will have access to that from the Compose box. So I could very easily click that Compose box, click the little book icon, and then select the feed that I want to share and find the post that I want to share, which will be automatically created for me. All I need to do is create or select the profile, and then I can of course add content. I can go through and customize this however I see fit, and then schedule it just like I've scheduled in the past. We can also create auto posts for these. So as you may have noticed when I was going over the publish section, I do have a queue here that's the NPR food blog. This is actually automatically scheduled from the RSS feeds. So I first and foremost set up the queue, and then once I had the queue set up, when I was selecting the NPR food blog, I created an auto post here that added it to the specific queue. In addition to RSS feeds, we do also allow you to create content libraries. These are essentially what they sound like. They're a place where you can store templates, photos, videos, different forms of content that you might find yourself using over and over again. If there's hashtags you're using constantly for your business, this is a great example, so you don't have to type them out every time. Like I mentioned earlier, if you have different team members using the platform, it's a great way for people to upload content and make it very easy for a collaboration to happen that way. These can also be shared with different users. So for example, I have this specific content library, my content, shared across all users, which means if the Seattle location were to log in, under their content library, they would actually see a couple different content libraries shared with them and have access to that same library, in addition to maybe their slightly simple or different one. And last but definitely not least, our reporting hub. So we offer two different levels of reports. We offer what we call quick reports. These are essentially channel-specific reports, quick high-level overviews of each channel and kind of the ongoings on that channel specifically. These are great for any users that are using the app day to day and just maybe want to get a quick snapshot of like followers or audience growth, something like that. For any stakeholders that maybe aren't using the platform day to day or maybe are interested in specific reports, we do recommend our custom reports. So what these reports allow you to do is actually build reports that are customized and pull in specific metrics that your team may care about. So I'll show you how you can create one here. I've just created a quick one, custom report 1, with the report title custom report, time period over the last 30 days. I've selected the layout that I like. And now I'm able to select the modules that I might want to include. So we have the general modules, which will be across all channels that are connected to this user. So I might do audience growth, audience overview, and then I can also click into each specific channel and select the metrics that I might care about from there. So if maybe on LinkedIn or Instagram rather, there is a specific one, I can like pull in the follower metric there. Now, once I have the metrics all connected, I am able to move them around. So maybe audience growth was the most important, or perhaps audience overview or activity overview was. I can pull that to the top, reorganize this the way I'd like it to be. We can also create a cover page, so you can add your team's logo. If you're an agency, you can also add your agency's logo. And you can create a quick text synopsis here, which can include like your contact information, or maybe a synopsis of what the report kind of entails. These can now be shared, so you can schedule these to go out on a recurring basis. As many email addresses as you'd like, just simply separated with a comma. Then you're able to create your email, send it off on whatever frequency you'd like. We do also offer the ability to share a live link, and this will update in real time for your team. Now, in a quick high-level overview, that's the Sendible functionality really in a nutshell. Before I let you go, quickly I'll go over some user management capabilities. So one thing about Sendible is that calendars and users are essentially synonyms. So if you needed to add a workspace, you will need to add a calendar, or if you wanted to add a calendar rather, not a workspace, a calendar, you will need to add a user. And then if you also need another user login, you of course will need to add a user. So depending on how you are looking to use that, you'll want to name these accordingly. Setting up a user is relatively straightforward. You just follow the on-screen prompts. And then we do also offer you the ability to create custom permission groups. So if you're adding, say, a team member and you want them to have a custom permission groups that team members may not normally have, you can take that even a step further under this permission section, going through and creating a permission group like I've done here with calendar, and selecting the different levels of access that you might want somebody with that permission to have access to. We can also create user hierarchies so that when people, or users rather, are set up to approve posts, they are needing to be approved by a specific user. So when this user now goes to compose a message, they no longer have the send now or schedule button. They are prompted to approve, and they'll need to send this to the selected user here to approve their messages. Additionally, if you are a white labeler, I encourage you to reach out. We do have some white label settings that I'm not going to cover in this video, but if there are any questions on the white label side, we'd love to connect with you and answer those questions. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for bearing with me today, and I hope you had a great rest of your day.